I want to talk about the transfer window with y'all. I want to talk about football transfer window because right now when I'm recording this is January 1st, 2025, which means the window's open, right? The transfer window's open pretty much everywhere, or it's getting ready to open, right? Teams were pretty smart in European football to not let their stars get away for free. But now we've seen an Mbappe get away for free. Potentially Trent could get away for free, who in his right, he's a Liverpool star, lads, all right? You guys can say no, but the kid, he's still a kid. He's still young, right? He's still a young guy in football. He's accomplished crazy things for Liverpool. And Liverpool losing him for free would just be an absolute L for Anfield. It would just be an absolute, and everybody knows it. People can argue and be like, oh, Trent can't defend, Trent can't this. Losing a player like Trent for free is crazy. And I think all of us can agree with that, okay? Losing a player like Mbappe for free is absolutely crazy. Barcelona about to potentially lose Dani Almo now for free for their situation is crazy. It just becomes absolutely wild that we're seeing this so much in football. And it's just, I think, down to just poor business from teams. And I really, truly feel like, and again, I never want to say this in a negative way because I do think that players should have control, but it feels like teams are losing way too much control. It felt like when I was growing up, teams had more control and had more respect. And I feel like nowadays, it's not that way. Anyways, man, let's discuss some things, okay? Let's start with, where do we want to start? Let's start with Manchester United. I'm seeing rumors that Manchester United wants Gyökeres, that Ruben Amorim wants Gyökeres. Now, Gyökeres to be able to go to Manchester United is going to be 100 million for Sporting, and that's in euros, 800 million pounds. This is a price tag I just don't think Manchester United can pay unless they were to sell Marcus Rashford for 60 or 70, 50, 60, 70. But I don't see a place for Marcus Rashford. I would say maybe Barca, if they could afford him. They can't because you're seeing the situation with Dani Almo. Italian teams paying 60, 50, 70. I don't see that happening. PSG, they have Dembele, maybe PSG, but PSG just bought Jerome Neves for a lot of money. I don't know if they'll splash out in January for Marcus Rashford. So I don't know where Marcus Rashford, where his market lies, unless it's Saudi Arabia. And I just don't think Marcus Rashford at his age is ready to walk away from European football. And if he is, it's one of those things where, again, we talk about players are very different than what we grew up with because maybe he's cool and feels like he accomplished everything he needs to accomplish in Europe. But I just don't see that being possible. So I don't know where Marcus Rashford lands because I don't see a market for Marcus Rashford. Maybe Germany, but do Bayern take him? And Bayern never really splashed that much money on players. The last time they tried to splash money on a player was, or that I remember, like come to my mind quickly, was the Paulinho deal. I mean, wait, the Paulinho deal, which kind of fell through in that winter, right? And then because the window closed, and then he ended up going there in the summer or whatever, something like that. But I don't really see it happening. So for Manchester United to get Gyökeres, I would think that they would have to sell Rashford, Lindelof, Casemiro. I think that should be enough money. Maybe. But then I come to my next point. Gyökeres isn't the answer completely for Ruben Amorim's system because he needs a left back and he needs a right back. He needs it. People might be like, oh, no, they're fine. They have the law. No. For his system to work at that five back, you need left wing backs and right wing backs. You need players that understand when to accelerate from the defense to the attack. You need players that know how to fill that space. And if you've watched United games, you know that Dalot and either of the left back and right back just don't understand how to fill that space. The moment the center back gets the ball, you need to be in a space almost at the middle of the park so they can put a through ball into you. And that's the way that system works. And the moment it hits you, you need to be able to put a ball to the striker like this, boom, boom, boom. It needs to be quick. That's how Sporting always played. And Ruben Amorim doesn't have that. He needs that. So I don't think Gyökeres deal to Manchester United is going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see this one happening. Okay, so I think we can knock that one out the park. I just don't see it happening. I don't think it's happening. Trent to Real Madrid. If I'm Liverpool, I let him go. I sell him for what I can. And I know that sounds really crazy because they're in a season that they're having a phenomenal season and they potentially could win everything. But you're going to lose this guy at the end of the year for free. So if you could get, if it's so tough, man, because where you're going to find a really good right back, it's a very tough situation that they put themselves in. Liverpool's not a team that really splashes money on players. And they're usually a team who finds players that are on the up and build them up to stars. We saw that with VVD. You saw that with Mane. You saw that with Salah. You continue to see them sign a player that's on the way up to stardom and then help them push them up to stardom. That's usually how they go about it. So I don't know what right back you would go out and get, but it's also a very, very bad thing to let Trent walk for free at the end of the year. So they're in a very tough predicament. And you guys know something like I know something, man. When Real Madrid's involved, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. PSG knows it the best. When there's a contract ending and Real Madrid has their people on top of it, you're in trouble. You have an 80% chance of losing that player. I don't care. That's just what it is. I think we can all agree on that. We've seen it happen too much. So if Liverpool has a chance to pick up a new right back and potentially make some money on Trent, I personally think they should do it because Madrid's going to be all over that. They're going to be all over that. That is something that they're going to be on top of with the quickness, and I think they're going to make it happen. Dani Almo's situation at Barca. It doesn't make any sense to me because Dani Almo played games for Barca, and now he can't be registered, and then the registration ended, and now he's supposedly a free agent, but still training with Barcelona. I got to tell y'all something. I'm confused, lads. I don't understand how Barcelona got into such a mess like this. Now, all of a sudden, suppose they still have to pay RB for Dani Almo. Dani Almo can't play for them. I think they still have to pay his salary. I'm not 100% sure. It is just a very horrible situation for Barcelona. And I don't know how you get out of it. Because I don't know enough of the financial stuff, right? I don't. Do they have to sell a player to be able to, but who are you going to sell? You can't sell Gavi. You're not going to sell Pedri. I mean, there's only one guy that I think that Barca have been saying for years that they should sell, and it's Frenkie de Jong. His salary is really high, even though I think he's worked his contract a little bit better. And I think he has a good value in the market. He's a great player, a phenomenal player, but sometimes when a team gets into financial issues like this, as bad as it is, and fans don't want to hear it, sometimes you have to make moves that are not going to make you happy. And I think Frenkie de Jong has a market, probably an 80 million market, maybe 70, 60, 80, somewhere in there, right? He has a big market, a very big value. And I don't know if any team will splash on that value, right? Because again, there's not a lot of teams in world football that have a lot of money right now, it seems like. Especially in the January market, it's going to be tough. But you're going to have to let somebody go that's worth a lot of money. And the only players that are worth a lot of money, are obviously the Fati. You're not going to let him go. I mean, Lamine Yamal, you're not going to let him go. You're not going to let Pedri or Gavi go. You're definitely not going to let Araujo go, right? And he's valued high. Kubasi, going to be valued high, but you're not going to let him go. So who do you let go of? I would say Frenkie. Right? Eventually, you have to sell players, lads. It's going to have to happen at Barca. I don't see another way of them getting out of a situation like this. So, Frenkie makes the most sense to me. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you want to lose anybody else. They just got offers from what Fab put out. Balde's agent, George Menz. When Menz gets involved, it's a problem. Barca reject offers from many big teams for Balde, and so he renewed. There is no doubt for me, he will be the best left back in the world. So there was offers for Balde, but they don't want to let those type of players go, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't let the Kubasis go, the Baldes, the Pedri, the Gavis, the Lamine Yamals. You shouldn't let these type of players go, right? Those are Barca. But someone like Frenkie de Jong, bro, I think maybe that's a really smart move for them. Guys, get in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is going to happen in 2025. Let me know what you think is going to pop off in this window. The Dani Almo stuff is crazy. The Trent story is wild. And the Manchester United story is just a disaster. I would love to know how you guys feel, but those are some of the biggest transfers that I've seen so far that are making some noise around town. Trent, Rashford, Gyökeres, and Dani Almo. Those are really, really big. And also, before we get out of here, where do you think Dani Almo will sign if it's not Barcelona?